Alongside the UFC Hall of Famer Michael Bisping, I am Brendan Fitzgerald. We were witness to history in Shenzhen, China tonight as Jang Wei Lee becomes the first Chinese fighter to win a UFC championship, and she does it in her home country, and she took less than a minute, Michael, to do it.
Yeah, that's right. She silenced, well, not silenced, she silenced all the critics. She silenced everybody that said she doesn't deserve that title shot because she made it look absolutely very, very easy. Jessica Andrade is a ferocious competitor, just top of the food chain, hit knockout power, picks people up, slams them on their head. What did she do? She knocked her out. She finished her in 42 seconds. She came forward. She fought the way Jessica Andrade always fights. At some point, though, you're going to bump into your kryptonite. Zhang Wei Lee knew she was going to come forward. She stepped back. She waited for it. Bang! Threw the perfect shot from there. A couple of elbows to the back of the head. A tie clinch. Jessica was all kind of wobbled. She was falling back. She swarmed all over her. And that was it. The referee had no choice but to stop it. As I say, it was shocking because she made it look so easy.
Yeah, well, it was the second fastest finish in UFC strawweight history. It's impossible to say right now, but with the martial arts tradition in China, but it's short on mixed martial arts history, what do you think this fight does for the history, for the trajectory of mixed martial arts in this country?
Well, when you think of martial arts, I mean, you immediately think of China. You think of Bruce Lee and people like that. There's a steep history here. But as you said, mixed martial arts, they're not really a powerhouse. But with 1.4 billion people and a lot of talented athletes and the government backing and now the UFC backing as well with the new Performance Institute, it was only a matter of time before somebody came through. And of course, that person is Zhang Wei Lee. And as I said to you earlier, it is going to inspire so many people. A lot of children are going to sit there and see that and want to replicate what Zhang Wei Lee did. Monday morning, all the MMA gyms, all the clubs are going to be very, very busy with people wanting to sign up to be the next UFC champion. She's inspired so many people.
She turned pro back in 2013. She lost her first pro fight. 20 straight wins now for Zhang Wei Lee. It begs the question, what or who might be next for the champion?
Yeah, well, she should take a nice weekend, enjoy, travel all over this massive, fantastic country, and as I say, revel in the glory. I mean, she's going to be a huge celebrity now, but what is next? I mean, unfortunately for her, there's no shortage of contenders. There's many, many people that want to fight her, and the first name that comes to my mind is Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Joanna was the longest reigning champion that the strawweight division has had. She's definitely a worthy contender, and I know for a fact, in fact, I'll put money on it, Brendan.
Okay.
She has messaged Dana already. Let's get Dana on the phone right now. I'll tell you, she has already texted and she's like, listen, I want to fight this woman. I will fight her in China. I will fight her anywhere. That's a bad impression, but you get the point.
Well, Joanna Jędrzejczyk has business first as she takes on Michelle Waterson coming up at UFC in Tampa in October. Let's spin it to next week. Speaking of big fights in big locations, Abu Dhabi is the site for UFC 242. Khabib Nurmagomedov puts his undefeated mark on the line again against the interim champ Dustin Poirier.
Yeah, and it's not going to be an easy night at the office. However, the fight comes down to this. Can Dustin Poirier keep it on the feet? Can Khabib Nurmagomedov take him down? Now, I'm not saying that Khabib can't compete on the feet, but that's the path to victory for both fighters. In the last fight against Max Holloway, Dustin Poirier simply looked the best version that he's ever been. He's a lifelong martial artist. He's never had a title shot. He has earned this the hard way. He's gone out there. He went up from featherweight to lightweight, and he's looked unstoppable. He's beat former champions, and now he beat Max Holloway, and now he gets his chance against the greatest martial artist, perhaps, that we've seen inside the octagon. It's not going to be easy, but he believes in himself. On the flip side, we've got Khabib Nurmagomedov, the man that seems absolutely unstoppable, takes his opponents down, beats the will out of them, and he talks to them while he's doing it. As I say, can Dustin Poirier stop the takedown? That's what this fight comes down to.
Is it as simple as that? How does Dustin Poirier do what no other fighter has been able to do so far?
Well, he's got to be elusive. He's got to use the footwork. He's got to dance around the octagon. But you can't run away. It's a fight, and it's 25 minutes. So at that point, you think Khabib will probably get him down at some time. But Poirier's going to land some shots. Now, Khabib can punch as well. We saw him drop Conor McGregor. The problem is when you're trying to defend takedowns, you're thinking about that, and then the wrestler throws punches, and you're getting hit off a wrestler. You're like, no, it shouldn't be happening like this. But that's the beauty of having a strong wrestling game. Listen, it's a very close fight. You got to favour Khabib, but with the mindset that Dustin Poirier has, with how he feels he was overlooked, how he never got the title, he kind of has a chip on his shoulder, and he's coming in here very, very motivated.
Well, it's a feeling that you knew battling all those fights in your route to your UFC title. one of the greatest moments in UFC history, and Dustin Poirier believes he is destined for that greatness and that it will come at UFC 242. How about the co-main event? A lot on the line in the lightweight division. Top to bottom on that main card, Paul Felder and Edson Barboza, who was the one who took the 0 from Paul Felder years ago in a fight of the night. They will run it back in the co-main event.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if it wasn't for the main event, I'd be inclined to say that that's going to be fight of the night again. I mean, both of these guys just outstanding strikers. When you think of Edson Barboza, I mean, listen, you just think of Terry Etim, unfortunately, getting decapitated with a spinning wheel kick. The leg kicks are absolutely brutal. One of the best strikers we've seen inside the UFC. And Paul Felder, on the flip side, he's no stranger to striking. He can mix it up with the best of them, as we've seen in the past, and he has heart for days. I mean, let's not forget the fight recently. He had a punctured lung.
James Vick, yeah.
Against James Vick. He had a punctured lung and still continued to fight in the fight and won the fight. So, listen, an incredible fight. I can't wait to see it.
Well, UFC 242 is coming your way from Abu Dhabi next Saturday, September 7th. Special start time, 2 p.m. Eastern for the pay-per-view. You don't have to wait all night until the fights. For Michael Bisping, I'm Brendan Fitzgerald from Shenzhen, China. The Octagon will see you from UFC 242 in Abu Dhabi.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports and analysis, download the ESPN app. And for live streaming and special content, subscribe to ESPN+.